How can you course correct? And that's where the inner coach comes in. So let's define the voices of the inner critic versus the inner coach. Okay, here's the inner critic. Let me know if this sounds anything like you've heard in your head before. Inner critic. Okay, here are some adjectives that would describe the inner critic. Harsh, absolute, shame-based, and fear-driven. This voice, the inner critic, has a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda. I'm an Enneagram 1. If you know anything about the Enneagram, you know that 1s are known as perfectionist. It is really identifiable to me, this inner critic, because there's not a lot of compassion. It's not a kind voice. It's a pull up your bootstraps voice. It's a get a grip voice. It's a you can do better, you should do better, why aren't you better? And it's a lot of self-imposed judgment, condemnation. I know oftentimes, if you're a person of faith, or even if you're not and you can't name this feeling, it's almost like that of an accuser. And I think oftentimes the enemy of our souls, the enemy of our light, wants to come in as an accuser and uses our own voice, our own head to do it. And boy, that is not the voice you want to partner with to get any kind of life change or more light in your life at all. I know I've seen that in my own life as I've partnered with God to shed light on the accuser and the inner critic and the harsh judgment, because that did not get me anywhere I wanted to go. So now let's contrast that with the inner coach, okay? You can do this with yourself, and that's what's so awesome, because everywhere you go, there you are. So what if the voice inside your head became an ally, a friend, a voice that was helping you, not hurting you or undermining your resilience? So the inner coach, firm but kind. Okay, so when I say firm, I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, do whatever, make promises to yourself and break them because you don't matter. No, you can be firm, you can be solid with yourself, all while being kind and respectful. I want you to think about this. How would you talk to somebody else? Can you be firm with your boundaries? Can you ask for what you need in kindness, love, and respect? Absolutely. Hopefully you do it every day. Talk that way to yourself. That's how an inner coach would talk. An inner coach would say, hey, we had a boundary there. You crossed it. And guess what? It's okay. It is not a setback. It's instead really, really valuable feedback. Forget the mistake, Jen. Forget the mistake. Insert your name. Forget the mistake, but remember the lesson. So don't waste it and go on. Go on. You don't have to make a slip, turn it into a slide. Another thing is the inner coach is truth-based. So often the inner critic, like I mentioned, was fear-based, is all about just kind of whispering lies about your identity and your worth and your value. And you know what? You can reject that. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to pick that up and put it inside. You can look at that and go, you know what? That's not the truth. I know the truth about who I am. And I know that I'm maybe doing better today than I was yesterday, and I'm not where I want to be. And a truth-based inner coach is going to remind you of your true identity, that your worth and your value is not based on your performance. Hear me in the back. Your value and your worth is not based on your performance, but rather your presence. So how great is that you don't have to work on performing all the time, that you can work on your presence. It's been a game changer for me, big time, big time. Another thing about the inner coach is it's data or data, tomato, data focused. Okay, it just looks at, it's looking at the facts, like, okay, if you got into a scenario where maybe you didn't pre-decide before you went, you can then go, okay, as an inner coach, you can tell yourself, you know what? You thought you could decide when you got there. We got to go back to the 3 Ps. Pre-decide, pre-plan, and play the movie forward. So guess what? You can go back and go, well, where did it kind of go off the rails? Did I not pre-decide? before I got there? Did I not have a plan when I got there? And did I not know how to play the movie forward? And listen, if you're listening to me right now and you're like, whoa, where are these 3Ps coming from? Where are these tools? Well, first off, they're in my free guide because I want to help you navigate and surf the urge at wine o'clock tonight, as well as things that we talk about in my 21-day reset challenge, which starts on the 1st of every month. So that's so important to know. So an inner coach is going to be kind of data focused, like an observer. Have you heard that before? I think it's awesome that God made us where we're just not like not like an animal where we're like, we don't know why we're doing what we're doing. We have the ability, God-given ability, to use our imagination and even our visualization to step outside of our own experience and observe. Y'all, the observer is so important because the observer is not a judger. Observing is not judging. It's just noticing the facts or the details so that you can use those to course correct. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to be able to see in reality land, what is clear. And that's how you're going to also know what's true versus what is untrue, a lie, or fear-based. And then last but not least, the inner coach is growth-oriented. The inner critic is going to stunt your growth because it's going to come down so hard on you that oftentimes for me, I would just double down on the mistake I made. I was like, well, I already blew it. Oh, well. Oh, well, I thought I could do a weekend or a month or whatever my goal was, or even an event. And if I blew it, even that terminology, blew it, it sounded so big, like I didn't know how I could recover versus, oh, it's feedback. It's feedback. So your inner coach is going to have a level of growth. Like, how can we take that experience and use it next time? Again, don't waste anything on this journey. Every time you struggle, every time you feel like you're failing, reframe that, because that failure or that slip is actually such valuable feedback. It's getting you closer to where you want to go because you just got the feedback again that it wasn't what you wanted. And over time, you can literally rewire your brain to have a whole nother thought when a slip or rerouting needs to happen. It's so awesome because then you can get off that. It's almost like a balance beam or like a tightrope of perfectionism, and it's wobbly versus going, like if you look at a really strong tree with really deep roots, it can sway with the wind and the storms. That's that inner coach that's like, you know what? It's just a little windy right now. It's a little blustery out there. But hang on tight, stay anchored in the truth, and don't believe the lies of the accuser. And don't team up with the inner critic that bombards you with performance. Instead, work on presence. How can I be more present? And even use the slip up, even use the quote setback as that valuable feedback. So I would say here, a coach speaks to your potential. A critic speaks to your failures.